Welcome back friends. Today we are going to solve LeetCode problem 1559, detect cycles in 2D grid. Before we start going through the description and examples of this problem, I just want to mention that my channel focuses on helping people who are preparing for coding interviews or Java interviews. This channel has over 150 solved examples which were asked in previously by big tech company interviews. That includes Amazon, Apple, Facebook, Microsoft, Google, and many others. Those problems consist of different varieties of problems, including dynamic programming, linked list related problems, string related interview questions, DFS, BFS, graph related problems, binary search tree related problems, as well as binary search related problems, and many other algorithmic or data structures related problems. If you are preparing for coding interviews or Java interviews or just learning Java concepts, please subscribe to this channel now. This channel can definitely help you in your Java interview preparation or learning, so please subscribe to the channel. So let's go through the problem description. Given a 2D array of characters grid of size m into n, you need to find if there exists any cycle consisting of the same value in the grid. A cycle is a path of length 4 or more in the grid that starts and ends at the same cell. From a given cell, you can move to one of the cells adjacent to it in one of the four directions: up, down, left, or right, if it has same value of current cell. So for example, if you consider this A, then you can move to this A or this A, right? Because those are having same value as A. So that's what they are saying. So return true if any cycle of the same value exists in grid, otherwise return false. So they have given us these few examples. So um, let us take this example over here and we can formulate how we are going to solve this problem and go through this example. So basically we are given a 2D matrix, right? So m by n, so this is 4 by 4 matrix is given to us that has some a values and some b values, right? And we have to find out if there exists any cycle in this given matrix or grid, right? So when we are uh, finding a cycle, it means that the values of all the cells in the cycle should match basically, right? So for example, if we start looking from this matrix, right, from this cell which is a 0 0 cell, right, then we can go in four directions as the four directions are mentioned here. So this one is upward direction for ij, this one is downward direction, and this one is right direction, and this one is left direction, right? So these are four directions if we are at ijth cell, right? So obviously all these cells we have to validate, right? For example, we cannot go upward here, right, because we are going outside of the matrix, or we cannot go left side, we are going outside of the matrix, right? But now we can go to the right or we can go down. So both these cells are valid cell because the values also matching, right? This is also a value and this is also a value, right? So uh, basically first let me just explain you what the cycle is here, right? So if we go like this basically, right, these all values are a values, right? As you can see, all a values, and we can reach back to this same a again where we started, right? So this means that we can form a cycle starting from this a basically, right? So that is what we have to find out. There is another cycle in this matrix from this b, right? This b also we can try to find out if cycle exists, and if we go like this, in four directions, then we can reach back to the original b where we started off, and that is cycle 2 in the given matrix, right? So this is highlighted in this grid, right? As you can see, this is one cycle forming all a's basically, and this is another cycle forming all b's. So this is the problem that we have to find out if there is any cycle, any such cycle in this given 2D matrix or 2D grid. So we are going to take an approach using BFS or breadth first search or breadth first traversal. where we use a queue, right? And we'll go in four directions with in adjacent four directions, and whenever we find out a matching cell, we will add it to the queue basically, and we will keep doing it, and we will keep track of visited cells. If we are visiting any cell which was previously visited, then it means that we are finding a cycle basically, right? So let me just backtrack this thing. So let us, for example, let's try to do a BFS, right? So let's say that this is the queue that we have, right? Let's just draw one queue here, sample queue, and the queue will hold the ijth position, right? And it will also hold the parent of the ijth position, right? For example, first we will put this a, right? So let's say we put like four things we will put into the queue. It's a array basically, right? So we will put ij coordinates, so 0 0, which are the cell coordinates, right, for this a, and its parent coordinates. So in the beginning the parent will be -1 right, because there is no parent for this cell basically. Parent means where we are reaching this cell from, correct? So that is what we will put. This is the queue, right? And then in the next iteration of the BFS, right, we will take this cell out of the queue, and we will go and check in four directions, right? So first one that we find matching is this one. So as you can see, this is 0 comma 1, right? So we will put that into the queue now. So 0 comma 1 is I comma j, and if you look, then parent cell where we are reaching here is 0 comma 0, so that we have to put here, right? 0 comma 0 we will put, because this is array, right? So this is one thing we put, and this one another a we found when we are looking in four directions. So these four directions, right? Upward, downward, right and left, right? So we will look in all these four directions. So this one is 1 comma 0, the cell coordinates are, and the parent for this is 0 comma 0, right? That is where we are reaching that cell from basically. So we will keep doing it. Now after this cell we will go again four directions. So matching cell will be this one. For this cell the matching cell will be this one, right? So we will keep doing it, and as you can see, I have noted you the actual BFS cell traversal, so you can see how the cells are visited, right? So first 0 0, right? So we have seen this 0 0, we have seen this 1 0, right? This is 1 0, then we have seen 0 1. So sorry, this is 1 0, this is 0 1 we have seen, then 2 0, right? 2 0 means this cell basically, right? This is 2 0, correct? And then this one is 0 2, so 0 2 is also there. So 2 0 we have seen, 0 2 we have seen. So now after this one we will go and we will visit this cell, right? Right, because from a I can go here, and from this a, so this one is 3 comma 0. So here you can see 3 comma 0 is there, and from this a we can go to this a, which is 0 comma 3. So this is 0 comma 3. So we will keep doing it. Now we can visit this a, right? 3 comma 1. So as you can see, this is 3 comma 1 here. Then from this a we can visit this a, sorry, this a, which is 0 sorry 1 comma 3. So this is 1 comma 3 here. Then from this a again we can go here, this is 2 comma 2. So sorry, 3 comma 2. So 3 comma 2 is this one, right? And this one is 2 comma 3, right? This is second, third. So 2 comma 3, and then this one, from here I can visit this a. So this is 3 comma 3 cell, so I visited 3 comma 3 cell. And when we are visiting any cell, we are keeping track of what cell we have visited, right? We will create one visited array uh, where we will keep the visited cells, right? So now we know that this cell is visited 3 comma 3, right? Because it is part of the set that are visited cell. Now when I am trying to visit a cell from this a now, right? This downwards, when I go downwards I visit this cell, and now I find this cell is already visited, because we are keeping track in the visited set, right? So again I'm trying to visit the same cell here. Look, these two things. So it means that we are finding a cycle, because we are visiting a same cell that we have already visited, which means that we have found the cycle. That's how we can detect cycle in the 2D grid, and in this case we will return true, right? Because we have found a cycle. So in this case we will just return true. We don't have to find any other cycle, because once we find one cycle, that is enough to determine if cycle exists in the grid or not. So that is the approach we will use Q and BFS, right? BFS, breadth first search, and we will keep adding the cells and removing the previously visited cells, right? So we will start from 0, 0 cell, and we will check each of the character, right, in the whole grid, basically m by n grid. So that is the approach of detecting cycles. So let me show you the code, and this is, I already explained you how the BFS cell traversal look like, right? So we start from this first cell and we go in 4 directions. Again we put that into our queue, then we take this out and we again go to these next cells like this and this, right? We again will put that into the queue. So I will not be able to write because the limited space, but you can imagine that they are being put into the queue, right? So that's how BFS works. So I will show you the code now. So this is our grid, right? 2 by 2. So we created a visited boolean array. It is same length as the grid, original grid, and we are iterating through the grid here from 0 to grid dot length and all the columns, right? I and j. And if we find something is already visited, then we are not going to check for cycle, right? Because that's already been checked. So we will just continue. Otherwise we will do BFS on that cell, right? ijth cell, and we will pass our visited array there. And this BFS is the main function right here. So we passed a matrix here. We pass ijth coordinate of the cell and we pass visited array. And this is the queue that we created. It's just a linked list, right? And then we are adding the first one here, right? ijth coordinate, and for the first time we will just add -1 as the parent of ij, right? As I said here, so parent of ij here, we first time we will add -1 because we don't have any parent when we are visiting this first cell, right? But when we are visiting this cell, this is the parent for this cell, right? Because we already know that where we are going, where we are reaching to that cell from. Here also this is the parent, right? So that is the way basically. Now when we go here, this is the parent, right? So that is what it is basically for this cell. This is the parent, right? So this is the way it is working. So we will add that to queue, the first cell, and then we will check the character for the cell, right? For example, here the character is a, so that's what we will get into C. And then we will just use like these variables, right? Current I, current j, then child I, child j, parent I, and parent j, right? So these 4 values we need. So we will take out the element from the queue, and it's an array element, right, which is the position I and j. So we are saying current I and current j is 0 and 1, and its parent I and parent j is 2 and 3, right? Because as you can see, this is I, this is j, right? And this is parent I and parent j, right? For this one, for the next one, this is I and j, right? 0, 1, and this is parent I and parent j. So these are 4 things we will get from the array, from the queue. And then this one is just like a system out that I was debugging. So we will check first if we are finding out the element that we previously visited, right? Here we are checking it. If we found it out, that means that we found a cycle here, right? So basically here we are checking if we are finding a cycle, right, in the matrix. That's what we are doing here. If we find it, means if we find a cell which was previously visited, for example in this case we found a cell because it is visited already by this cell, and now we are trying to visit it from this cell, right? So there is a cycle. So we'll just return true here. Otherwise we will mark that element current I, current j element as true. And after that we are going to go in 4 directions, right? We will check in 4 directions, these 4 directions that I mentioned you. So upward, downward, right, and left. So here upward means we will increment I is equal to I minus 1, right? Because you are going upward. So you can see I minus 1 upward. Downward is I plus 1, right? So first we'll just modify I. We will update it by minus 1, right? Current I will become current I minus 1. And we will just first check whether it's not going outside of the boundary, right, of the matrix. And we will also check that the child of current, like child I and child j of matrix, means that character should match, right? Character should match. A should match this A, this A should match this A, then only we will visit that cell. And the parent should not be, the child I and parent I should not be matching, right? Child I and parent I, so these values should not match basically, right? So that's what we have to check here. So as you can see here, the here, right? So child I and parent I, so this is the child I, right? Minus 1 minus 1, so this should not match with this current values, right? Where what we are going to visit, right? So that's what we are checking basically. And then we will add that element into the queue here. So child I and child j, right? Because we have modified it now, right? From current I current j, the child I child j, we will put it into here, and current I and current j will become the parent, correct? So current I and current j will become parent. So let me just show you what it means. So here 0 0 minus 1, right? So I don't have much space here, so let me just write here. So 0 0 minus 1 is the first cell, right? Minus 1, this is the first cell, and this is the next cell that we are visiting, right? So first thing is, let's say we are going right? So we will modify this, so it, the I will become from 0 to I will become 1, right? Because now we are still in the same row, but we are updating the column, right? Column will be next column. So at that time we want to check if the child I, means the new value of I and j, is not matching the parent on parent I and parent j, correct? Because we don't want to go from this cell again to this cell, right? Because it is already the parent of this cell, right? You already have seen it basically, correct? Let me just take it out, like, so I can show you what it means easily. So I'll just remove this color so I can reuse the space and I can explain you quickly. Yeah, so basically what it means is right, so we are in this cell, so now we are visiting this cell, right? And we are visiting this cell, right? Correct, this next cell here. So when we are now traveling from this A, now we don't want to again visit this previous cell, right? This previous cell, because it is a parent cell. And from this A also we don't want to visit this parent cell, because we are already have seen those cells, right? So that is what we are making sure here basically. Child I is equal to parent I and child j is equal to parent j. This should not be true basically, then only we will visit, right? So we are searching upward, then we are searching downward. In the, when we are searching downward, we will just increment the child I is equal to current I plus 1, right? That is what we will do, as you can see here, right? This is downward, I is equal to I plus 1. Then when we are going on the left side here, as you can see, j will become, j is equal to j minus 1. So here j is equal to j minus 1, right? Current j minus 1. And when you are going right, then j will become j plus 1. So j will become j plus 1 when we are going right? And then we will do the same check, that we are not going outside of the boundaries, and then also we should not be visiting the parent, because parent is where we are coming to that cell from, and the value of the character should match, right? So we will do those checks whenever we are going upward, downward, left or right? If those things are matching, then only we will put that value into the queue, right? Child I child j and current I current j will become parent, right? Next time basically, right? So this one is parent for A, right? So now when we go to this A, like just a second. So when we go to this A, right, this A is parent basically for this A, right? So similarly for this A, this previous A is the parent, right, this A. So that is what it is doing, and we will keep looping and using the until the queue becomes empty. And while we don't find the cycle, we will keep checking. In case we find a cycle here, we will just return true. If we never find a cycle, we'll come out of the loop, right, and at that time we will return false. So this is the implementation to solve the detect cycles in 2 degree problem. So let us just take one example here. So this is the first example, right, that they have given us. So this is the first example that we discussed. So let's just quickly run it. So we should find a cycle here. So we found a cycle here, true, right? So that's good. So now we will just use all the test cases that are given here, right? There are 3 test cases here. So all 3 cases we should pass. So first is true, second is true, and third is false, right? So true, true, and false, as you can see. So we are good. We can submit this solution. So our solution got accepted with 64% better than others and 96% better in memory side, which is pretty good. This is an important problem to understand. So make sure you understand this problem and practice this problem. Also, if you haven't already looked into my playlist, called as LeetCode and LeanCode solutions, please go through that playlist. It has over 150 solved problems, explained in details and with examples and Java code. Those are the problems that were previously asked by Amazon, Apple, Google, Facebook, Microsoft, and other companies in their coding interviews. So make sure you understand those problems and practice those problems. And those problems are handpicked and making sure that it covers different varieties basically, right, like dynamic programming, linked list, uh, binary search trees, graphs, BFS, DFS, logical based problems, binary search related problems. So all those different varieties are covered there. Also, if you are just preparing for telephonic interviews, there is another playlist called as Java interview. So you can go through it. It has a lot of telephonic interview questions and how to answer them. So if you find this video helpful and if you like the way the solution is implemented and shown, please subscribe to the channel and like this video. Your subscription is really important to us because that is the way the video can reach to more people. They can also watch these videos while they are preparing for their coding interviews and Java interviews and get helped. So please subscribe to this channel now, and thanks for watching the video.